What if I told you that the biggest musical legend in the world was once just a small boy living in a fear, pressure, and pain? This is not just the story of fame, this is a story of struggle, sacrifice, and a dream that changed the world forever. Today, we are going to explore the full life journey of the Michael Jackson thought, the film Michael 2026. From a poor childhood to global superstar stardom and the emotional battle behind the spotlight, you will see how a young boy from Gary, trained under strict discipline by this father, rose to become the king of pop. But this journey is not easy. There is pain, there is pressure, there are moments that will shock you, and decisions that change his life forever. In this video, we will explain the complete story step by step in a very simple and easy way, so you do not miss everything. So it's back, relax, and get ready to experience one of the most powerful and emotional story ever told. Let's begin. Michael 2026 movie released on the worldwide box office 24 April 2026. I hope you can enjoy this video. Let's start the video. The movie the movie Michael begins in year 1996 in a small industrial city called Gray, where life is hard and full of struggle. A man named Joseph Jackson works as a steel worker, and he wants something better for his family. He believes that music can change their future, so he decided to train his five sons and turn them into a musical group. This group later became known as a Jackson 5. Jackson 5. Among all the brothers, the youngest one, Michael Jackson, quickly stand out because of this natural talent, powerful voice, and incredible stage performance. Even at a very young age, however, the journey is not easy at all. Jospin is very strict and sometimes very harsh. He forces his sons to practice for long hours every single day, and if they make mistake, he punish them. The house is filled with pressure, fear, and discipline instead of a normal childhood. Michael begins the youngest feel the pressure even more deeply. While other children are playing outside and enjoying their childhood, Michael is stuck in her young talent to reach the top of the superstar, trying to be a perfect. Even thought its strict training helps the group improve. It also creates emotional pain inside Michael that stay with him for years. Slowly the brother began perform at small local show, talent competitions, and clubs. At first they struggle to get attention, but their energy and Michael voice start winning people over. Audience remember are surprised to see such a young boy singing with so much emotions and confidence. As time passed, their popularity began to grow and people start talking about them. Actually, their talent reached the ears of music industry professionals, and they get a life-changing opportunity when they are signed by Motown, one of the biggest record labels at the time. This moment changed everything for the family. Suddenly, their small, struggling life in Gary became to shift into something much bigger. Under Motown, the Jackson 5 received proper training, professional guide, and a chance to record song. Their music quickly becomes successful, and they start releasing hit after hit. Their songs claim the charts and they become famous across the United States. Michael especially become the center of the attention because of his unique voice and charming personality. As their fame grows, they start performing in bigger events, traveling across the cities, and appearing on television shows for the first time. The family experienced success, money, and recognitions. Because of success, they are able to move out of their small home in Gary, and shift to a much more comfortable and luxury house in the city. The movie represents a hug change in their lifestyle from poverty to fame. However, even after achieving success, the pressure does not go away from Michael. Instead, it increases. Now he is not only trying to Steffi his father, but also millions of fans. He has to perform perfectly every time, and there is no room for mistake. Deep inside, Michael started feeling lonely because he never had a normal childhood. He missed simple things like playing with friends or going to school like other kids. Even thought he is surrounded by fame and success. There is a sense of emptiness growing inside him. Barry Meanwhile, Barry, the founder of Motown, noticed something special in Michael. He realized that Michael is not just a part of group, but has the potential to become a much bigger star on his own. This idea slowly began to shape Michael's future. Even thought at this point he is still under his father's strict control. Part one of the story mainly shows us the beginning of also the story mainly shows us the beginning of Michael's journey, how a talented young boy from a poor background rise to fame with his family, but at the same time start losing his childhood and emotional freedom. It set the foundation from everything that will happen next, including this struggle, independence, and transformation into a global icon. After becoming famous with the Jackson 5, the life of Michael Jackson began to change in a new way, but this change is not completely happy. Even thought he is now a star and people love him everywhere. Inside his heart, he started feeling that he is still not free. His father Joseph Jackson still control almost everything in his life, from his music decision to his daily routine, and Michael slowly began to feel that he is living someone else's dream instead of his own life. As he grew older, he became more aware of his talent and started thinking about creating his own identity, something that is different from the group and something that truly represents who he is as an artist. Around this time, the music industry is also changing, and Michael realized that if he wants to stay on top, he needs to evolve and try new sounds. In 1978, he takes a very important step in his life by signing a sole contract with Epi Records, which gives him the opportunity to create music independently from the group. This decision is not easy because it creates tension between him and his father. He believes that all the success of his children is because of his strict training and management. Joseph feels that Michael should not separate himself from the family, but Michael feels that this is the only way he can grow as an artist and as a person. During this period, Michael meets the legendary music producer Quincy Jones, and this meeting became one of the most important turning point in his career. Quincy Jones Jones understands Michael's vision and believes in his talent, and together they being work on the first major soul album called Off the Wall. The process of making this album is very intense but also exciting for Michael because for the first time he feels that he has create freedom. He experiment with different style of music including pop, funk, soul, and disco, and he works very hard to make every song perfect. Even thought he is enjoying this new creative journey, the pressure from his father still affect him emotionally. Joseph Jackson often reminds him that without him, none of this would have been possible. And this makes Michael feel guilty and confused. At the same time, Michael is also struggling with the professional insecurities. He is very confused about the appearance and often feels that he does not look good enough. These thoughts slowly begin to affect his confidence. Even thought the world see him as a superstar. Deposit all these internal struggles. Michael continued to focus on his music. When all of the wall is finally released, it became a hug success. The album produced multiple hit songs, and people all over the world start recognizing Michael not just a member of group but as the power soul artist. The success gave him confidence, but it also make him realize something important. He wants even more. He does not just want to successful. He want to be the greatest. This desire push him to work even harder and think big than ever before. However, this relationship with this father continue to get danger. Aggressment between them become more dangerous, and Michael starts feeling emotionally distant from him. He begins to understand that if he wants to truly take control of his life, he needs to make some very difficult decisions. Around this time, he found support in people outside his family, including this close friend and bodyguard, Bill Berry, who advised him to follow his own path and not be afraid of standing up from himself. This advice gives Michael the courage he needs in 1981. He makes a bold and shocking decision. He hires a liar named John who helped who helps him take control of his career. Thought legal step. Michael removes his father from managing his professional life. This moment is very emotional and difficult from him because it feels like breaking away from his own family, but at the same time it also feels like freedom. From the first time in the life, Michael is in charge of his own decisions. While all of this is happening, he is also dealing with the professional image issue because of because of his insecurity about his look. He decided to under underthropy produce to change shape of his nose. This decision show how deeply he is affected by his self-image. Even thought millions of fans admire him as Michael step into this new phase of independence. He began to think about this next project. He wants to create something that is not just successful but something that will change the music industry forever. He spent a lot of time thinking, observing the world around him, and finding inspiration from different sources. The story shows us a very important transformation in Michael's life from being a controlled childhood to become an independent artist who is ready to take risk and follow his own dream. It also highlights his emotional struggle, his fight for freedom, and his desire to achieve greatness, setting the stage from the next phase of journey where he will admit to create one of the biggest albums in the music industry. After finally gaining control over his own career, Michael Jackson entered a new phase of life where his main goal is not just success but greatness. He wants to create something that no one has ever seen before, something that will make him the biggest star in the world. Even thought His previous album Off the Wall was a hug success. Michael feels that it did not get the full respect he accepted from the music industry, especially at major award show. This make him even more determined to prove himself. He once again team up with Jones and together they begin work a new album. This time Michael is more focused, more creative and more involved in every detail. He spent long hours in the studio thinking deeply about every song, every sound, and every word. He wants each track to feel special and different. During this time, Michael found inspiration from the many places. One important moment comes when he watched a news report about violence between street gangs. This deeply affected him, and from this idea, he creates the song Beat It, which carries a strong message against violence and encourages people to walk away from fights. Michael does not just want to entertain people, he wants to send meaningful messages through his music. At the same time, he is also thinking about the overall theme of his album. One night while watching horror film on television, he gets the idea of mixed music with a spooky and cinematic style. This idea excites him and he decides to name the album Thrill. As the album start take shape, both Michael and Jones face many challenges. They worries about whether the audience will accept such a unique mix of sound and style, but Michael believes in his vision and continue pushing forward. When the album is finally released in 1982, it does not just become popular, it become a global phenomena. People all over the world and all over the world are amazed by the music, the energy, and the Michael performance style. Songs from the album become intense hits, and fans cannot get enough of them. However, Michael understands that music alone is not enough. He wants to create something visual powerful as well. This leads him to focus on music video in a completely new way. At that time, a television channel called MTV is becoming popular, but they are not playing many videos by black artists. Michael faced this challenge and head on with the help of his lawyer John and supporter from the Butler. Pressure is put on MTV to play this video. It is a risky move, but it works. Once MTV start erasing Michael video, everything changes. This video are not like anything people have seen before. They are not just simply performers. They are like short film with stories, dance, and cinematic value. The video of Thrill become especially icon with its horror theme, dance sequence, and storytelling. It captures the imagination of the millions of viewers and set a new standard for music video forever. Michael popularity reached a level that is almost unbelievable. He becomes a global superstar loved by people of all ages and backgrounds. His concerts are sold out, his songs are everywhere, but every and his influence is growing rapidly. But I, but even in the middle of all this success, Michael's personal struggle do not disappear. He still feels pressure to be perfect all the time. He consistently push himself harder than anyone else, sometimes to the point of exhaustion. He is also still dealing with insecurities about his appearance, with affect his confidence in public. Deposit this, he continued to work harderly, always trying to improve and stay ahead. Meanwhile, his relationship with his father remains distant. Even thought Michael has achieved massive success on his own, the emotional impact of his childhood and strict upbringing still affect him deeply. He finds comfort in helping others, especially children. He spends time visiting hospitals and supporting young patients, which brings him a sense of peace and happiness that fame cannot provide. As his career continued to rise, Michael started thinking about how to maintain his success and what to do next. He knows that reaching the top is one thing, but staying there is even more difficult. The story shows us the peak of Michael's rise to global superstardom, how to take control of careers, create one of the most successful albums in history, breaks barriers in the music industry, and change the way people see music and entertain forever. At the same time, it also reminds us that behind all the famous and success, Michael is still a human being dealing with pressure, expectation, and personal struggle with continue to shape his journey moving forward. As Michael Jackson reached the highest level of fame there after the success of Thrill, his life became even more busy, complicated, and emotionally challenging. He is now one of the most famous people in the world, and every move he makes is watched by millions of fans and media. Even thought he has achieved everything he once dreamed of, the still feels pressure from different directions. One of the biggest pressure comes again from his father Jobs Jackson, who has not completely left his life and still tries to stay involved in family decisions. Around this time, Jospin begins planning a renewed tour from the brothers and starts discussing with famous promoting Don King. This idea is to bring the Jackson family back together from a big tour that will attract massive attention and make a lot of money. A major part of this plan includes a sponsorship deal with multiple PepsiCo, which is one of the biggest companies in the world. This the deal is very attractive and promise hug financial reward. But for Michael, it is not just about money. He feels confused because he has already started building his own independence identity, and now he is being pulled back into a something controlled by his father again. This was deposited this mix feeling. Michael agrees to take part in his project, partly because of family pressure and partly because he does not want to disappointing his fan. As a part of this deal, the Jackson began filming a chronicle for Pepsi. Everything seemed normal at first at the shoot, and the shoot is planned with exciting visual and especially effective. However, during the filming, something goes terribly wrong. A sharp sprig from the stage accidentally injures Michael hair, cause a serious accident. With second, his hair catch fire and he suffers survive burns on his scalps. The situation become more dangerous and people rush to help him as the fear input out. This moment become one of the most shocking and painful incident of his life. Michael is immediately taken off medical treatment where doctor confirm that he has suffered serious injury including 3-degree burns. The physical pain is intense, but the emotional impact is even deeper. From someone who is already struggling with self-image and personal insecurities, the accident become a traumatic experience. During this recovery, Michael spends a lot of time thinking about his life, his career, and the risk that come with fame. He realizes everything how everything and how quickly things can change. With the support of his lawyer John, Michael decided to take legal action against Pepsi's from the accident. This case is settled and he received competitions compensation, but instead of keeping the money of himself, Michael chose to donate it to the hospital where he was treatment. Helping other burn victims, this act show this compassionate nature and this desire to use the influence for good. After months of recovery, Michael slowly returned to his professional life, deposited the pain and trauma he has gone through. He remains communicated to his fans and this music. The Jackson Renew tour moves forward and Michael joins his brother on stage once again. The tour is a massive success with large crowds and energetic performance. Fans are excited to see the family together again and the show received a lot of attention. However, behind the scenes, Michael is going through an emotional struggle. Being back with the group reminds him of his past, his strict unburning, and the control his father once had over his life. He started feeling that he no longer belongs in this step. He has grown as an individual artist and wants to move forward and backward. As tour continues, as the tour continues, these feelings become stronger. Michael begins to realize that he needs to make a final decision about his future. The turning point comes during the final show of the tour at Dugara Stadium. In front of a huge audience, Michael makes a bold and emotional announcement. He tells the crowd that this will be the last time the Jackson perform together as group. This moment is very powerful because it represents the end of an important chapter in his life. It is not just a professional decision but also a personal one. By making this announcement, Michael is officially breaking away from his past and fully stepping into his own identity. This decision also symbolizes the emotional separation from his father control. Even though it is a difficult moment, it also brings a sense of relief and freedom to Michael. He knows that from now on he will be responsible for his own path, this own choice, and his own future. The story highlights both a major tragedy and a major turning point in Michael's life. It shows how a painful accident changed him physically and emotionally, but also how it strengthens this determination to live life on his own terms. It also marks the end of the journey with the Jackson as a group and being of a new phase where he stand completely on his own, ready to face whatever comes next. After separating from the Jackson 5 and fully stepping into the independence journey, the Michael Jackson enters a new phase of life where he is completely in control of his own career. But this freedom also comes with even greater pressure. Now there is no one else to share the responsibilities with, and all acceptation are on him alone. The world is watching closely, waiting to see what he will do next after the massive success of Thrill. Michael understands that repeating the same success is not easy, and he feels a strong need to prove that he is not just a one-time phenomenon, but a tour legend who can continue to create magic. With the mindset, he once again began working with Quickly Jones to create his next album, which later became Bad. next album, which later become bad. During the production process, Michael is more involved than ever before. He writes songs, experiment with new sounds and carefully plans every detail of the album. He wants this project to reflect this responsibility, his growth, and his artist vision. He spent continuous hours in the studio, often pushing himself to exaltations because he believes that greatness requires sacrifice. At the same time, he is also becoming more confused of his public image. This appearance starts changing, which attracts a lot of attention from the media. People begin talking about this looks, this style, and this personal life. This content security makes Michael feel uncomfortable and sometimes misunderstood. Even thought he is one of the most famous people in the world, he often feels lonely because very few people truly understand what he is going through. When the album Bad is finally released, it became another hug success. Fans loved the songs, and the album produced multiple hits that dominate the charts. Michael proves once again that he is capable of meaning his position at the top of the music industry. To support the album, he embarks on a massive world tour as the Bad Tour. This tour takes him to different countries where he performs in front of thousands of fans who admire him deeply. One of the most memorable moments of this tour is this performance at this performance at Wembley Stadium, where he performed in front of hug audience, showing this incredible stage presence and energy. The crowd reaction is overwhelming, and it became clear that Michael is not just a singer but a global icon. Deposit the success of the tour and the love from fans. Michael's personal life remains complicated. The more famous he become, the more isolated he feel. He struggles to build normal relationships because people often see him as a superstar rather than a human being. He starts spending more time alone, reflecting on his life and trying to find peace with himself. He continued to visit to hospital and charitable organizations, especially those involve children. These moments give him happiness and a sense of purpose that fame cannot provide. Helping others become an important part of his life, and it always him to cannot connect with people in a genius way. However, the pressure of maintaining his image and success continue to affect him continue to affect him mentally and emotionally. He feels that he always has to be perfect, and this contact he feels that he always has to be perfect, and this constant pressure sometimes become overwhelming. He also remains sensitive about his appearance, which leads him to make future change in how he look. The media often story about him, creating misunderstanding and romance that make his life even more difficult. Deposit all these challenges, Michael never stopped working. He continued to push the boundaries of music and performance. He always trying to innovate and stage and stay ahead. He wants to create art that inspire people and leaving a lasting impact in the world. At the same time, he is always searching from the happiness and inner peace, something that seemed difficult to find. Deposit all his success. The story show us The contracts between Michael's public life and his private struggle. No one hand, he is at the peak of his career, achieving global fame and performing in front of massive audience. On the other hand, he is dealing with alone alone lines, pressure, and emotional challenge that come with begin in the sport life. This part highlights how success does not always bring happiness and how even the biggest superstar can feel lost and isolated. Set the stage from the final phase of the journey where this legacy, this choice, and this impact on the world will become even more significant. As Michael Jackson continued his journey after the massive success of the Bad Era, his life reached a stage where he is not just a music star but a global symbol of fame, talent, and mastery. By now, he has achieved almost everything that an artist can dream of, including world recognition, record-breaking albums, and uncomfortable and unforgettable performances. Put deep inside, he is still researching from something more meaningful. The Michael the film Michael began to move toward consolation its emotional confusion by showing both this greatness and his inner struggle at the same time. Michael started thinking more about his legacy and how he will be remembered by the world. How he will be remembered by the world. He wants people to see him not just as a performer, but as a someone who brought change to music, helped others, and inspired millions. Evans thought he has faced many challenges in his life, including a strict childhood, emotional pain, public pressure, and the physical injuries. He never stopped believing in the power of music and love. At the same time, Michael became more reflective and spent more time understanding himself. He realized that fame has given him everything, given him, given him everything, but it has also taken away simple joy like privacy, normal friendship, and a peaceful life. This realization makes him more focused on doing things that that truly matter to him. He continue him he continue his human trained work, especially helping children to need, visiting hospital and supporting charitable cases. These moments give him real happiness because they allow him to connect with people in a genius and meaningful way. The film shows that deposit all the romance, media stories, and the misunderstanding. Michael true nature is kind, sensitive, and deeply caring. At the same time, he is also accept that being a global icon comes with responsibilities and sacrifice that cannot be avoided. One of the most important themes is this final part is acceptance. Michael began to accept the past, including this relationship with his father, Gypsy Jackson, the struggle of his childhood, and the difficult choice he had to make in order to become who he is. Instead of running away from these memories, he started to understanding them and learn from them. The emotional growth at makes him stronger and more at peace with himself. The film also highlights how Michael's influence has changed the music industry forever, from his eyes, from his innovative music video to this unique performance style. He has set a new standard that other artists follow. This work with albums like Thrill continue to inspire generation, and this impact goes beyond music into culture, fashion, and global entertainment. As the story moves toward its final moment, we see Michael standing on stage performing in front of a massive audience, reminding us of the reminding us of reminding us of this incredible talent and passion. After everything he has thought, Even after everything he has thought, he still loves performance and connecting with his fans. The energy, the music, and the connection with the audience shows that this is where he truly feels alive. However, the film does not just end with his success; it also leaves the audience thinking about the cost of that success. It reminds us that behind every legend is a human being with emotion, struggle, and dream. In the final scene, Michael is shown as a person who has finally understand himself better. He may not have found completely peace, but he has found purpose. He understands that this journey was never just about fame or success, but about expression, connection, and leaving a mark on the world. The film closes on an emotional note, showing that Michael's story is not just about his life, but about the impact he has made on millions of people around the world. His music continue to live on. His influence continue to inspire, and the story continue to told complete the journey by bringing together all the themes of the film's struggles, success, pain, growth, and legacy. It leaves the audience with the powerful message that even the greatest star are human, and true greatness comes not just from talent but from resilience, patience, and ability to keeping moving forward. Deposit art challenge in final part gave a complete and emotional ending to the story, making it perfect from a deep and engaging video explanation connect the viewers on both an emotional and inspirational level. The moral of the story of the film Michael is very deep and emotional, and it teaches us many important lessons about life, success, pain, and being human. The story of Michael Jackson shows us that success is not always as perfect as it looks from the outside. Many people think that become famous, rich, and loved by millions in the ultimate happiness. But this film clearly shows that behind all the fame, there can be alone lines, pressures, and the emotional struggle. One of the biggest lessons from the story is that childhood matter a lot in shaping a person's life. Michael's strict upbringing under his father Jobsic Johnston teaches us that too much pressure, fear, and control can hurt a person emotionally, even if he helps them achieve success. It shows that children need love, support, and freedom, and just discipline and hard work. Another important moral is about following your own path. Throughout the story, Michael struggles to break free from control and create his own identity. This teaches us that every person should have the courage to follow their dreams and make their own decisions, even if it is difficult or painful. The film also teaches us about perfection and pressure. Michael always wanted to be perfect, and this desire him ver- work made him work very hard, but it also caused him stress and insecurity. They show us that trying to be perfect all the time can harm our mentally peace, and it is important to accept ourselves as we are. Another powerful lesson from the story is about inner happiness. Even thought after achieving global success, Michael often feels lonely and incompletely. This teaches us that true happiness does not come from money or fame, but from inner peace, love, and meaningful connections with others. The film also highlights the importance of kindness and helping others. Michael founds real happiness when he helps children and support people in need. They show us that doing good from others brings a deeper kind of joy that success alone cannot give. Another moral is about realism and strength. Deposit facing many challenges, including strict pre- parasitic public pressure, personal insecurity, and physical pain. Michael never give up. He continues he continued to move forward, work hard, and following his passion. This teaches us that no matter how difficult life becomes, we should stay strong and keep going. The story also warns us about the cost of fame. Being famous means losing privacy, facing context, judgment, and living under pressure. It reminds us that every success comes with sacrifice, and we would understand the reality behind the glamour. Finally, the film teaches us about legacy and purpose. Michael's journey shows that true greatness is not just about talent or success, but about the impact we leave on others. The music, this kindness, and his influence continue to inspire people around the world. This teaches us that our action, our value, and how we treat others are what truly defines us. In the end, the moral of the story is that life is not about becoming successful, but about finding balance, staying true to yourself, spreading love, and making a positive difference in the world. It reminds us that even the greatest star are human beings with emotions, struggles, and dreams. And true success is not measured by fame, but by the happiness and meaning we create in our lives and in the lives are from others. We create in our lives and in the lives from others. The Michael movie is a biographical musical drama that tries to tell the life story of one of the biggest musical legends in the history, Michael Jackson. And overall, it is a film that creates a strong emotional impact but also leaves the audience with mixed feeling. First of all, it if we talk about whether this movie is worth watching or not, the answer depends on what you are accepting from it. If you are a fan of Michael Jackson or interested in music history, then this film is definitely worth to watch because it shows many important moments from his life, including his childhood struggle, rise to fame, and personal challenge. However, if you are exciting a very deep, raw, and completely honesty portrayal, then you might feel a little disappointed because the film presents the story in a somewhat safe or soft way. Now, talking about the star cast performance, the most important role in the film is played by Jaafar Jackson, and his performance is one of the most strongest part of the movie. He truly captured the body language, voice style, emotional expression of Michael Jackson is a very important, impressive way. At many moments in the film, it feels like you are actually watching the real Michael Jackson, especially during performance in his dance move, vocal experience, and stage performance are very interesting. And it is clear that he has put a lot of effort into his role, into this role, sporting character, including the polarity of Joseph Jackson, and also delivered strong performance, especially in showing the strict and controlled nature of the father. The emotional tension between father and son is one of the most powerful elements of the film, and it adds deep to the story. However, same side character do not get enough screen time, which makes their impact feel limited. When we talk about the story, the film covers major events from Michael's life, starting from the early days with Jackson 5 to his soul career and global success. The story follows an magical way which makes it too easy to understand, especially for viewers who do not know much about his life. However, the storytelling time same time feels rushed as many important moments are shown quickly without going too deep into them. This is one for the reason why some critics say the story feels sanitized, meaning that is avoiding showing the dark or more conventional part of the life in detail. Even though this makes the film more comfortable to watch, it also reduces the emotional depth that could have made it more powerful. Now, if we talk about the director has done a decent job in presenting such a complex life story in a structured way. The film is visually engaging and keeping the audience interested, but it sometimes feels like it is playing safe instead of taking bold blood creative risk. A story like Michael Jackson Live has been many intense and dramatic moments, and while some of them are showing well, others could have been explored more deeply. The director focused more on showing the success and the achievement rather than fully exploring the emotional struggles behind them. Talking about cinematography and camera work, the film looks visually appealing. The concert scenes are shot in a very dynamic way, which with camera movement that make the audience feel the energy of live performance. Close-up shots are used effectively to show emotion, especially during intense scenes. The lighting and color tones also help in creating the mood of different time periods. From the early days of the struggle to the glorious world of fame, the visual transitions between scenes are smooth and overall the film maintain a polished and professional look. When it comes to music and songs, this is one of the strongest aspects of the film. Since it is based on the life of Michael Jackson, the music naturally plays a central role. Icons songs like Beat It and track from album like Thriller presented in a way that reminds the audience why he was such a hug global star. The performance sequences are energetic, entertainment, visual impressive. These moments are likely to be the most enjoyable part of the film, especially from fans. However, some viewers might feel that the film relies too much or these musical moments are not enough on deeper storytelling. Talking about editing and pacing, the film moves at the steady pace, but as maintained early, some part feel rushed. Important life events are sometimes shown quickly, which can reduce the emotional impact. A slower and more detailed approach to circumstance and scenes would have made the film more powerful and engaging. Deposit this, the film does not feel boring, and it managed to hold the viewer's attention thought out. In terms of production quality, the film does not good job in recreating different time period, including customized set and overall design. The effort to match the real life look and feel of different as is clearly visible, and it adds authenticity to the story. The makeup and styles, especially from Michael Jackson character, are handled carefully to reflect his changing experience over the years. Now, coming to the emotional impact, the film succeeds in making the audience feel connected to the Michael journey, especially this struggle with fame's pressure and personal identity. However, because the film avoids going too deep into conversational and darker aspect, the emotional connection sometimes feels limited. It touches the surface of the pain but does not fully explore it. This makes the film feel slightly incompletely for viewers who are looking for a more honest and detailed movie. Overall, Michael is a visual, engaging, and emotional touching film that celebrates the life and achievement of Michael Jackson, but it does not fully capture the complexity of his personality and struggle. This is a film that is enjoyable, especially from fans, and it successfully shows why Michael Jackson became a global icon. At the same time, it plays safe in its storytelling, which may leaves some viewers wanting more deep and honesty. It is the movie is worth watching for its profession performance, music, and visual presentation, but it is not a perfect or complete biographical film. It gives a strong introduction to Michael Jackson's life, but stop shorts are fully exploring all aspects of his story for a general audience. It is an entertainment and emotional experience, while from detected fans, it may feel like a good but slightly incompletely to the legendary artist. Now, the development of the film Michael was not something simple or quick, but instead it was as long and carefully planning process that requires years of thinking, discussing, and preparation. Making a film based on life of Michael Jackson is a very big responsibility because he is not just a singer but a global icon whose life is known by millions of people around the world. Because of this, the filmmaker had to be very careful about how they would tell this story. The first step in development start with the idea itself. Creating a biographical film that show both the success and his personal struggle. This idea requires permissions and cooperation from Michael Jackson's estate, which plays a very important role in protecting his legacy and image. Without their approval, it would not be possible to use this music. It would not be possible to use this music, this name, and many important details of his life. So, one of the most earliest and most important step was getting full supporting from the East, which allowed the filmmaker to move forward with confidence. After this, the next step was choosing the right people to lead the project. The filmmaker needed a director who could handle such a complex and emotional story. A bio like a biopic like this is not just about showing events; it is about capturing emotions, personality, and the journey of a human being. So the director had to understand music, storytelling, and character depth at the same time. Once the director was selected, the focus moved to write the script. The script writing from the film was one of the most challenging part of development. Michael Jackson's life is very long and full of events from his childhood in Gary to his global fame, and it is possible to including everything is one film, and it is impossible to include everything in one film. Because of this writers had to carefully choose which moment to include and which ones to leave out. They had to be decide how much focus should be given to this childhood, his career, his personal struggles, and this his achievement. The process The process took a lot of time because where every detail had to be checked to from accuracy. The writers likely studios, interviews, documentaries, and real life events to make sure that the story felt real and believable. At the same time, they also had to make the story engaging from the audience, which means they had to be balance fact with cinematic storytelling. Another important part of development was deciding the tone of the film. The filmmaker had to be decide whether the film would show a complete whether the film would show a complete raw and unfiltered version of his life or a more respectful and controlled version. In this case, the film seemed take a more safe approach, focusing more on his achievement and struggle in a way that is stable for a wide audience. This decision also affect how the story is written and represented during the development. The budgeting is also a very important factor. A film like this requires a large budget because it includes music rights, custom set, and large performance and recreating famous concert at different times periods is expensive, so the producer had to carefully plan how much money would be used. They had to be decide which scenes would need more investment and where they are where they could control cost without reducing quality. Scheduling is another key part of development. The filmmaker had to create a timeline from the entire project, including pre-production, shooting, editing, and releasing. Since this is a large-scale film, the schedule must be well organized to avoid delay and extra cost. They also have to be considered the availability of factors, elevations, and technical teams. Another major decision during development was how to present Michael Jackson music. These songs are a core part of his identity. So the filmmaker had to plan how and when these songs would be used in the film. They had to decide whether the songs would be shown as a full performance, background music of or part of storytelling moment. This requires creative planning to make sure that the music feels natural and powerful within the story. At the same time, the team also had to think about the audience. They had to decide whether the film is mainly or fans for a general audience. The decision influenced the storytelling style, the level of deal, and the emotional tool. For example, if the film is made for a global audience, the story needs to be simple and easy to understand, which is why the film uses a clear and biography storytelling style. Another important part of the development is research. The filmmaker like spend a lot of time studying Michael Jackson life, including his performance, interviews, and public appearance. This research helps in creating an authentic film that feels real to the audience. They also had to understand the cultural impact of the Michael Jackson, which goes behind music and includes fashions, dance, and global influence. The understand helps in shaping the film's version and direction. Finally, during development, the filmmakers had to be plan how the film would be marketed and released in the future. Even at this stage, they had to think about the live audience, promotional strategy, and global reach. Since Michael Jackson is now worldwide, the film also needs a global release strategy. All these steps shows that the development of the Michael was a complex and detailed process to require carefully planning, creative decisions, and strong coordination between different teams. It was not just about making a film, but about telling the story of one of the most famous people in the world in a way that is respectful, engaging, and meaningful. This part of journey show how much effort and thoughts goes into a film even before the cameras start rolling. setting the foundation for everything that follow in production. The casting and actor preparation from the film Michael was one of the most important and difficult part of the interior production because the success of a biographical film depends heavily on how well the actors can represent real life people, especially someone as icon as Michael Jackson. The filmmaker know from the beginning that finding the right actor to play Michael was not just about acting skill but also about physical appearance, body language, voice style, and most importantly, the ability to capture this unique personality and energy. This was a very big challenge because Michael Jackson is one of the most recognizable figure in the world. Even small mistake in the film would be noticed by audience after the carefully consideration. The role was given to Jaafar Jackson, who is not only an actor but also Michael Jackson real life newpan. This decision brought both excitement and pressure because people accept him to deliver a very athletic performance. On one hand, being a family member gives Jaffer as a natural understanding of Michael's responsibility, style, and behavior. But on the other hand, it also created a high expectation because audience wanted perfection. Once he was selected, the preparation process for Jaffer was extremely intense and detailed. He had to go through months of training to fully transfer into Michael Jackson. This includes dance training, vocal practice, this thought when vocal practice multiple stages required to perform well on the audience. Jackson was now fully actor but also be real life Pona. Style, behave, and also be one of the most behind family member gave the Jeff understanding the Michael responsibility styles. After this, the preparation actor of Jafar extremely intensive until he had to be go 30 months of training from transformation into Michael Jackson. This include dance training, vocal practice, and studying Michael movement very carefully. Michael Jackson dance style is very unique and different, so Jafar had to practice again and again to match the completely step timing and expiration. He likely watched hours of performance video, concert interviews to understand how Michael moved, how he stood, and how he intricated with the audience. Their level of preparation is necessary because audience can easily still if something feels fake or unnatural. In addition to dance, Jafar also had to be work on his acting skill is how difficult emotional stage of Michael life. The film covers multiple phases from the childhood to adulthood, so the performance needed emotional depth. He had to show happiness, pain, pressure, confidence, and along lines in believable way. This requires strong acting ability because Michael's life was full of emotional ups and downs. Another important aspect of his preparation was voice and dialogues delivery. Even though the film may use original songs, the speaking style of Michael Jackson's were decent. So Jafar had to practice speaking in a way that feel natural and similar to Michael without sounding forced. Apart from the main role, casting for other character was also very important. The role of Jasper Jackson required an actor who could strict and controlled and sometimes harsh father figure while still showing moment of complicity. This role is emotionally heavy because it directly affects the main character development. The actor playing Giuseppe needed to balance authority and intensity to make the character believable. Similarity Other supporter roles, including family members, music industry figures, and friends, had to be the cast carefully to match real life personalities. Even thought these roles may have less screen time, they still play an important part in building the story and making the world of the film feel real. Another key part of the casting was physically resembles the makeup and costume team worked closely with the actor to match their looks and with real life character, including hairstyle, clothing style, and different time period and facial detail for Michael character. This process was especially detailed because this appearance changed over time. The team had to be recreate these changes accurately to show different phases of his life. This required coordination between actors and technical teams to achieve a realistic look. Where another major part of the preparation before filming start, the actor likely spent a lot of time rehearsing scenes together to build chemistry and understand their character better. For example, scene between Michael and his father need strong emotional connection, and multiple rehearsal help to create natural interaction. Performance scene, especially connect concert sequence, requires even more preparation because they involved choreography, timing, and coordination with music and camera movement. These scenes had to look energetic and real as they are some of the most important part of the film. Another important factor in actor preparation and understanding the historical and cultural background of the story. The actors need to understand the time period, the music industry environment, and the social context in which Michael Jackson grew up and became famous. This helps the performance in a more realistic and grounded way. The director also play a key role during this stage by guiding the actors and helping them understand how their character would be played. The director vision helps shape the performance and ensure that all actors are working in the same direction. Overall, the casting and preparation process of Michael requires a hug amount of effort, time, and dedication from selecting the right actor, training them, and preparing them emotionally and physically. Every step was carefully planned to create authentic and engaging film. This part of the production show how important casting is in beginning a real life story to the screen, and how much hard work goes into making character feel real and believable for the audience. The filming process of the film Michael was one of the most demanding and detailed parts of the interior production because the filmmakers had to recreate many important moments from the life of Michael Jackson in a realistic and visual engaging way. And this requires a lot of planning, coordinations, and technical efforts before the cameras even start rolling. The team had to decide on the shooting locations, and the story takes place in different time periods and places, including early life in Gera and later fame in other cities. The filmmakers had to either shoot in real locations or recreate theme async sets. In many cases, building details set was necessary to match the exact look of the time period, including house, street, studio, and concert stage. These sets had to be designed carefully with correct detail like for colors and pops to make everything feel real and authentic. The department worked very hard to recreate the past in a believable way so that the audience could feel like they were actually watched actually watching events from different decodes. One of the biggest challenge during filming was recreating Michael Jackson icon performance. Concert scene are very important in this film, so they had to be filmed with great energy and accuracy. This required large setup with stage lights, dancer costume, and extra playing the audience. The team had to be coordinate music, choreography, and camera movement at the same time, which is not easy. Every moment had to be timed perfectly so that the final scene would look smooth and powerful. The actor Jaafar Jackson had to perform complex dance routines while the camera captured every detail, which made the scene physically demanding. Multiple takes were often needed to get the perfect shoot, especially for the dance sequence where even a small mistake could affect the entire scene. The cinema photography, which means how the film is shoot visually, plays a very important role in the telling the story. The camera work in the film is designed to capture both the large scale performance and the emotional moment. For example, video shoot are used during concert scene to show the size of the stage and the energy of the crowd, while in closing up shoots are used during emotional scenes to how experience on the character face. These close-up help the audience connect with the character feeling, especially during moment of street pain and reflection. This use of light is also very important. Bright and colorful lighting is used to perform scenes to create excitement and energy, while soft and dark lighting is used in emotional or serious scenes to create a more intimate and thoughtful mood. This contrast help in showing different side of Michael life, from public success to private struggle. Another important technical aspect is camera movement. The film used smooth camera movement during performance to following the action and making the audience feel like they are part of scene. In some moment handled camera techniques may be used to create more realistic and raw feeling, especially during intense or emotional situation. The goal is make the viewer feel connected to what is happening on screen. Filming also require a lot of coordination between different departments, including custom makeup, sound, and choreography. The costume team had to be ensured that outfits match the time period and the real life looks of Michael Jackson. This included famous stage outfits that fans could recognize. The makeup team worked carefully to show change in appearance over time, which is a part in a biographical film. The sound team also played a big role, especially in capturing dialogue clearly while almost also meaningful music and background sound in performance scenes. Sound quietly quality is very important because it affects how the audience experiences the music. Another major challenge during filming was maintaining continuity. Scenes are not always filmed in order. The team had to make sure that everything matched from one scene to another, including customs in lighting and actor position. Thus, this requires carefully attention to detail and strong communication between team members. Weather and external coordination can also affect filming, especially if outdoor scenes are involved, so the team had to be flexible and adjust their schedule when needed. Filming a movie like this also requires a lot of patience because some scenes take many hours or even days to complete. The team had to repeat scene multiple times to get the best possible result. This process can be trying for both actors and crew, but it is necessary to achieve high quality visual. Overall, the filming and the technical works of the Michael show how much efforts goes into the bringing a real life story to the screen, from choosing locations and building set to capture performance and emotional moment. Every step requires carefully planning and teamwork. This part of the production highlights the importance of the technical skill and creativity in filming, showing that behind every scene there is a lot of hard work and coordination that help create a visual engaging and believable film for the audience. After the filming of Michael was completed, the project entered one of the most important and detailed stage called post-production, where all the raw footage was carefully shaped into the final film that audience see on screen. And this stage requires a high amount of patience, creativity and technical skill because it is where the story truly come together. The first step in the post production is editing, where editors take hundreds of hours hundreds of hours of recorded footage and select the best shoot to create a smooth and engaging story. Since this film is based on the life of Michael Jackson, the editor had to be very careful about how scenes were arranged so that the timeline feels clear and easy to follow. They had to decide which moment should be longer and emotional and which one should be shorter to keep the pacing balanced. This process is not just about cutting scene but also about storytelling because the way scenes are placed one change how the audience feel. For example, emotional scene may be given more time with slower cuts so viewers can connect with the character, while performance scene may have faster cuts to create excitement and energy. Another major part of the post production is sound design and mixing. A film like this, sound is extremely important because music play a central role. The sound team had to carefully mix dialogues, background music, and the sound effect so that everything feels clear and balanced. During conversation, the dialogue must be easy to understand, while in performance scene, the music must feel powerful and impressive. This requires adjusting volume levels, removing unwanted noise, and adding sound effect where needed. Music mixing is especially important because Michael Jackson songs are a key part of the film. The team had to ensure that the songs are presented in high quality and match perfectly with the visual. Timing is very important here because even a small mismatch between music and visual can affect the impact of the scene. Another important part of the post-production is visual effect, also known as VFX. Even though its film is mostly realistic, some scenes still require digitally enhance enhance moments. For example, large concert crowd may be expanding a sing visual effect or certain background may be improved to look more accurate. VFX can also be used to remove unwanted element from a scene or to be enhance lighting and atmosphere. These effects are usually designed to be visual, meaning the audience should not notice them, but they help make the film look more polished and realistic. Colors grading is another key step in post-production. This process involves adjusting the color of the film to create a specified mood and visual style. For example, scene from early time period may have a warm or slightly faded look to represent the past, While modern scene may look sharper and more vibrant, color grading helps maintain visual consistency and make the film more visually appealing. It also supports storytelling by matching the color tone with the emotions of each scene. Another important part of the post production is adding background score. While the film include many unknown songs, it also needs original background music to support emotional scenes. This music is usually soft and designed to enhance feeling without taking attention away from the dialogue. For example, during sad or reflective moment, the background score can make the scene feel more emotional and powerful. The timing and placement of the music are very important. And composer work closely with editors to make sure everything fit perfectly. Post production also include dialogues, editing, and voice adjustments. Sometimes lines recorded during filming may not be clear or may need improvement, so additional recording section called ADR, automated dialogue replacement, are done. In this process, actors re-record their lines in a studio, and these are the matched with the original footage that help improve sound quality and clarity. Another part of the post-production is our final assembling, where all elements, video, sound, music, and effect are combined in a complete version of the film. This version is reviewed multiple times by the director and producer. Why may request changing or improvement. This can include adjusting scene length, changing music placement, or improving visual details. This review process can take a lot of time because very small detail matter. Once the final version is approved, the film goes thought mastering, where it is prepared from different formats like camera, screen, streaming platform, and international release. This include ensuring that video and sounds quality meet professional standards. Subtitles and dubbing may also be prepared for a global audience so that people in different countries can understand the film. So people that in different countries easily understand the film overall. The post-production stage of Michael is where all the hard work from the filming is performed into a complete cinematic experience. It requires teamwork from editors, sound engineers, visual effects artist, composer, and many other professionals. The stage show that filmmaking does not end when shooting stop. In fact, a hug part of the creative work happen after that. The careful editing, detailed sound work, visual improvement, and final adjustment all plays a major role in making the film engaging, emotional, and enjoyable for the audience. In this stage that gives the film its final shape and ensure that the story of Michael Jackson is presented in the best visual way on screen. The marketing and the releasing strategy of the Michael was very important part of the overall success because a film based on the global icon like Michael Jackson needs strong promotions to reach audience around the world, and this requires carefully planning, create ideas, and a deep understanding of the audience. The marketing process usually begins long before the film is released, and in this case early announcement played a key role in building excitement. As soon as people heard that a biographical film about Michael Jackson was being made, curiosity and interest started growing among fans and general audience. This early buzz is very important because it creates anticipation and keeps people talking about the film. One of the first major promotional tools used for film was teaser poster and first look image. The visual are designed to give the audience a glimpse of the film without revealing too much. The image of Jaafar Jackson in the role of Michael Jackson were released by immediately caught attention because of the strong resemblance. This helped in building confidence among fans that the film was being made with care and attention to detail. After this, the release of the official trailer became a major moment in the marketing campaign. A trailer is very important because it shows the tone, style, and key moment of the film in a short time. Style and key moment of the film in a short time. For this film, the trailer likely focused on emotional scene, icon performance, and major life event to attract a wide audience. The use of the famous song and dramatic visual in the trailer would have matched it more powerful and engaging. Another important part of the marketing is media promotion. This includes interviews, press event, and appearances by the cast and crew. Actors and filmmakers often talk about their experience, preparation, and the story of the film, which helps in creating a personal connection with the audience. For example, interviews with Jaafar Jackson discussing how the prepare for the role attract viewers how are interested in behind the scene details. Social media also plays a hug role in modern film marketing. Platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and other are used to share clips, behind the scene video and promotional connect the help to reach a younger audience and keeping the film trending online. Fans can also share their reactions and create discussion with increasing visibility. Interesting. Another key part of the promotion is music. Since the film is based on a musical icon, the songs themselves act as a powerful marketing tool. Re-releasing or highlights famous track like Beat It and songs from Thrill can remind audience of Michael's legacy and attract both old fans and new listeners. Music video and performance clips from the film can also be used to promotional connects. Premium event, another important part of the marketing. The film premiered in Berlin with is a major international platform. Premieres also allow the film to gain media attention, reviews, and public reactions before its worldwide release. Red Crepes events, celebrities, appearance, and press coverage all help in increasing the film visibility after the premiere. After the premiere, the film was released in different regions by major distribution like Lionsgate in United States, Universal Picture in other part of the world. A global release strategy is important for a film like this because Michael Jackson has fan in almost every country. This release date is also carefully choose to avoid competition and maximize audience turnout. Another important factor is audience targeting. The marketing team had to decide how to attract both long-time fans of Michael Jackson and new viewers who may not know much about his life. This requires a balanced appearance in the promotions, showing both emotional storytelling and exciting performance elements. Reviewers and word of mouth also play a major role. After releasing, even thought the film received mixed reviews, positive comments and about performance can still attract audience. Marketing does not stop after releasing. Ongoing promotion continued through social media, interviews, and audience engaging. Overall, the marketing of the release of Michael show how much planning and effort goes into bringing a film to a global audience from early announcement and trailers to premium and worldwide distribution. Every step is designed to create interest, attract viewers, and make the film successful. This part of the process highlights the making a film is not just about production but also about how effectively in the effect is represented and shared with the world. Overall journey of the marketing the film overall journey of making the film Michael shows that creating a biographical movie about a global icon like Michael Jackson is not just about filmmaking but about handling a legacy, emotions, acceptation, and responsibility at the same time. And this is why the interior production requires a extraordinary level of effort, passion, and teamwork from everyone involved. From the very beginning, the filmmaker faced the challenge of telling a story that is already known by millions of people, which means that the audience comes with expectation, icons, and emotional connection. This makes the job much more difficult compared to fictional film because very detailed in noticed and judged. One of the biggest challenge in the production was balancing truth and storytelling. Real life is often complex and sometimes controversial, but a film needs to be strict, engaging, and stable for a wide audience. Because of this, the filmmaker had to decide how much of the real story to show and how to present in a way that is both respectful and cinematic. The decision is not easy, especially when dealing with figure and famous Michael Jackson. Another major challenge was recreating different time period accurately. The story covers many years, and each period has its own style, fashion, and cultural environment. The production team had to carefully design, customize set and visuals to match these changes. This requires details, research, and a strong creative vision. It also requires coordination between different departments so that everything looks consistent, believable. The physical emotional effect requires from the director was also very high. Playing a real life character, especially someone like Michael Jackson, requires deep preparation, deep preparation and dedication. Deep preparation and dedication. Jaafar Jackson had the responsibility of carrying the entire film, and this requires not only performance skills but and also emotional strength. He had to perform complex dance sequence, delivers emotional scene, and maintain a consistent, polite, thought out the film. This level of effort shows how demanding such a role can be. This technical challenge of the film were also significant. Filming large performance scene, meaning scenes, ma- managing lights, sound, and camera work, and ensuring high production quality all requires advanced skill and coordination. Each department, from the cinematography to use sound design, had to work together smoothly to achieve the best result. Post production added another layer of complexity, complexity where editing, sound mix, and visual effect had to be carefully handled to create a polished final product. This stage requires attention to detail and accurate decision making, as even a small change can affect the overall impact of the film. Another important aspect of the production journey is the emotional weight of the story. This film deals with themes of success. This film deals with themes of success, pressures, family relationship, and personal struggle. Presenting these themes in a meaningful way requires sensitivity and understanding. The filmmaker had to ensure that the story feels authentic and respectful while also being engaging for the audience. This balance is not easy to achieve, and it is one of the reason why biographical film are often challenging to make. Marketing and releasing also add to another overall effect as the film need to reach a global audience. Coordinating international distributions, promotions, and audience engaging requires strategy planning and execution. This involvement of major companies like Lionsgate and Universal Pictures shows the scale of the project and the level of the investment involves deposit all the effect and careful planning. The film received mixed reaction, which highlights another important reality of filming. No matter how much work is put into a project, audience response can vary. Some viewers appreciated the performance and the music, while others felt the story could have been deeper or more detailed. This shows that the film is not just about effect but also about interpretation and acceptation. In the end, the production journey of Michael reflects the hard work, creativity, and decision of a large team of professionals who come together to bring an important story to the screen. It shows that behind every film there are years of planning, months of shooting, and countless hours of editing and refining. It also shows that telling the story of a real person, especially someone as infantile as Michael Jackson, is a complex and challenging task that require respect, care, and strong creative vision. This final part completes the full production journey by highlighting the effect, challenge, and teamwork involved in making the film, giving a clear understanding of how much work goes into creating a large-scale biographical movie and how every stage from development to release plays a circle role in shaping the final result. Also, audience see on the screen. The Michael Jackson is not just a film, simple biographical. The Michael is not a simple biographical movie, but it also tries to explore deeper theme about life, identity, fame, and human emotions throughout the journey of Michael Jackson. And this is what makes it more meaningful when we look behind just the event show in the story. One of the most important themes in the film is the idea of identity. This means understanding how you really are. Thought out the story, Michael is shown as someone who is consistently searching from this true self from this childhood where he is controlled by his father to his adult life where he become a global superstar. He is always trying to find a balance between what others accept from him and what he wants for himself. This struggle makes this character feel real and relatable because many people face a similar challenge in their own life, even if their situation are not as extreme. Another major theme in the film is the cost of fame. The movie clearly shows that the fame is not just about success and admiration, but it also comes with pressure, loss of privacy, and emotional stress. Michael's life become more complicated as he become more famous, and the highlights the reality that success often brings new challenge instead of solving all problems. The film also explored the theme of childhood and how early experience shape a person's future. Michael's strict up upbringing under Jackson is shown as both a reason for this success and a show of the emotional struggle. This create a powerful message about the importance of the balance in parenting, showing that discipline should be combined with love and understanding. Another important theme is perfection and the pressure to be the best. Michael is shown as a someone who always want to improve and reach higher levels, but this desire for perfection also creates stress and insecurity. This teaches the audience that while hard work and ambitions are important, it also necessary to accept performance, accept imperfections, and take care of mental health. This the film also touches on the idea of alone lines. Even though Michael is surrounded by fans and success, he often feels alone because he cannot live a normal life. This contrast between public success and private lines, alone lines, is one of the most emotional part of the story, and this helps the audience understand the external success does not always mean internal happiness. Another theme is kindness and compassion. The film shows Michael's love for helping children, supporting people in need, which highlights this soft and more human side. This moment reminds this audience that deposit all the fame and the pressure. He remind a care and genius person. The film also has a strong cultural impact because it shows how Michael Jackson influenced not just music but also fashion design and global entertainment. This innovative idea changed the way music video and performance are created, and this influence continue even today. The film tries to capture this impact and show why he is considered one of the greatest entertainers of all time. At the same time, the film also raises questions about how public figures are treated by the media and society. It shows that fame can sometimes lead to misunderstanding and judgment, where people focus more on runs and less on the real person. This theme is very relevant in today's world, where celebrities are consistently in the spotlight. Another important aspect of the film is its emotional tone. The story moves between moments of joy, success, pain, and reflection, create a balanced emotional experience. This make the film engaging and allow the audience to connect with different aspects of Michael life. The use of music play a big role in creating this emotional impact, as songs helps express feeling that a world alone cannot. The film also encourage the audience to think about think about their own life. It shows that success is not just about achievement but also finding happiness, purpose, and balance. This message makes the film more than just entertainment. It becomes something that can inspire and reach overall. Focus on the deeper meaning and impact of Michael, showing that it is not just a story about a famous person but a story about human experience, struggles, and growth. It highlights the important life lesson about identity, fame, pressure, and competitions, making it a meaningful and thoughtful provoking film. This final extension adds more deep to the your overall explanation and helps your audience understand not just what happening in the story but why it matter and what they can learn from it. The michael the, the film Michael can also be understand on a deeper level when we look at its complex character, deep audience reaction, and its lasting impact, because this movie is not only telling a story about also a sing visual emotions and moment represent bigger ideas about life and fame, especially thought the journey of Michael Jackson. One of the most interesting aspect of the film is its and it is difficult. He did not just follow the rules. He created his own identity and changed the music industry forever. This creativity, passion, and dedication made him a legend, and this is the something that inspire people even today. At the same time, in the end, the film leaves with the powerful message: life is not about being perfect, but about being real, strong, and true to yourself. It teaches us to keep moving forward no matter how hard thing gets, and to never stop believing in our dreams. If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like, subscribe, and share. For more explanation like this, left we now in the comment that you think about this film and Michael journey. I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care and keep sporting.